Kenny Omega, he's going to be on Dynamite tonight, but it's come out that Omega's got a lot of injuries. He's been suffering from vertigo while he's been wrestling. Mike Johnson said that he might require shoulder surgery. And so, there's all this kind of talk. So, Finn, I mean, Kenny Omega, he's definitely had a much better 2021 in AEW than he maybe had in 2020 because he's been more featured, he's done more stuff. Um,
Yeah.
what would you like to see if he takes some time off? What would you like to see from Kenny Omega when he comes back in the future? More of him being a heel? Do you want to see him be a babyface? Is there anything else you want to see him do when he comes back?
Um, I mean, I think he can do either, and if he takes 3 or 6 months off, I don't think it would be the worst thing for his career. I think he feels like he's kind of peaked, certainly in this role as a heel, and whatever he does next has to be different from what he has done recently.
Mm-hmm.
I know you would. I'm pretty sure you would agree with that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, it just feels to me like he's done everything he could do in that role. So the timing of him taking a break, I think, is actually fortuitous. I think it will be advantageous for his career for him to disappear. Be interesting to see if they do an injury angle tonight on Dynamite. I
yeah.
mean, it's possible that will happen as a story cover for his absence from TV. Um, Obviously, we saw what happened at Full Gear with the Young Bucks coming out, and apparently, in a were they siding with Adam Page? Actually, maybe they were neutral. They certainly weren't helping Kenny Omega retain the title when they could have done.
Uh,
Um, so they stood back and allowed Adam Page to score the pin and become the new AEW World Champion. So maybe there'll be a bust up between Kenny Omega and the Bucks on Dynamite tonight. I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it? You would think that Kenny would have some questions for Matt and Nick as to why they didn't assist him in his hour of need.
mhm.
And maybe that'll result in some type of split, or maybe Omega will storm out and we won't see him for a while. I'm not sure, but I think he needs to do something different when he returns, presumably in 2022. I think probably the time would be right for him to turn babyface, and maybe for him to reform his partnership with Hangman Page at that point. I'm not really sure. I mean, it does seem like the Young Bucks are edging towards a face turn
Yeah.
and potentially some sort of faction with Adam Page. So will Omega join that, or will he hold on to a grudge over the Young Bucks not helping him retain against Adam Page? I think there's a lot of different directions they can go in with this story,
Mhm.
um, most of which are interesting, and all of which Kenny will freshen him up, which I think even his biggest fan would have to admit that Omega has peaked, and now would be the time for him to go away, recharge the batteries, and come back with a new outlook. Maybe a new image as well, Kenny. Probably not, but a new outlook at least.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's funny because obviously I kind of struggled with watching Kenny Omega matches pre AEW, mostly because of the length of them. I just kind of struggled a little bit with it, but I actually found I've enjoyed him a lot more in AEW because he's tended to wrestle 30-minute matches, 25-minute matches rather than 40, 50, 60. So yeah, I mean, I think he's done really well. Am I a fan of some of his acting? I can't I can't go that far, but I do
No.
think he's been a good top name. I think you're right. I think it's a good time for him to kind of take a step away. There's a lot of interesting parts to the story with, like you said, the Young Bucks and where they're going to go with Adam Page. Where does this leave Adam Cole, who's obviously just come into the company? Is Adam
Yeah.
Cole going to maybe partner up with Bobby Fish? Are we going to see Kyle O'Reilly coming in the new year? Is there going to be something, with factions going at each other? There's a lot of options that they've got, which is good. And I think it'll be good for Page for Omega to go away for a little while because Page is he's dethroned Omega and now he can go and kind of have a title reign where he can do some different things, and then you can come back to it down the line if he comes back, depending what the machinations of them are at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that story's been told.
Yeah,
And that, to me, at Full Gear last Saturday was the natural conclusion to it, wasn't it? Adam Page
yeah.
defeating Kenny Omega for the title. And you could revisit it, but I mean, it wouldn't be as good. So what would be the point, really? So, yeah, I think it's time for them to go their separate ways.